What's up guys, StarSpeedy here back with another video for y'all today. And it's coming to start a series on my channel based on I'm going through a lot of reality shows to watch and then rank every single premiere episode. And I figured I'd do that starting with Hell's Kitchen. It's funny how random I got into Hell's Kitchen honestly, but hey, here we are. So in this video I'm going to look back at every premiere in Hell's Kitchen and then obviously rank them. It's not going to be like your standard ranking video when it's going to like 23 to 1. I'm mostly going to go through like each season as they aired and then talk about my thoughts on them, and then by the end of the video I rank them. Also, I do that a lot, I might do that with a lot of my ranking videos from on now because honestly that seems like a lot more fun actually. So, in all general, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Let me know what Hell's Kitchen content, or Survivor, or Big Brother, or Maze Race, or whatever reality show content you guys want to see from me. And I'd love to know your ranking of all these premiere episodes down below in the comment section. So, enough being on the brush, let's rank every single Hell's Kitchen premiere episode. So first, let's start off with Season 1. The first episode, again, a lot of these episodes don't have any titles, so I'm just going to Episode 1. And now we get to Season 1, the start of Hell's Kitchen, what this show first started. And I gotta say, it was, for this premiere episode, it was actually pretty solid actually. It was a pretty good start to the show, honestly. Not the most exciting start out there, but it does give you a hint of what you can expect from this show going forward. And this was kind of when Gordon Ramsay was at the height of his career. This one he wasn't like the big celebrity shit that he is nowadays. Like this was when he was probably still new to the limelight and everything, and know for his reactions and everything, and how he would treat people, and how he would scream and yell at people, like, and how he would insult people. Like you kind of get a little bit of that in this episode. You know that he's not playing around. Again, this is also when the chefs actually were at least some of them weren't actually chefs actually, which was kind of interesting. And it's a good job introducing to the characters, what you can expect, like, you know, Chris, Elsie, Michael Ray, and all that stuff. And for the first stuff alone, you're like, oh, you're not playing around and everything. And some mistakes they make, oh boy. And well, it does end with kind of a disappointing first boot in Kellyanne, because I think, honestly, she definitely is a weird first boot in the show's history, because she's one of the ones that I don't think really did much wrong to warrant her boots. But other than that, it's still a pretty good episode, and does a good job with setting the tone for the show going forward. And then we get to Season 2, which I think is actually another solid premiere episode, actually. Again, it does a good job introducing the cast, the 12 people. Again, this was kind of when some of them were not really chefs, but some of them were kind of were. And again, get some fun moments of Signature Challenge where most everyone was kind of shit. I mean, this season was kind of shit with Tal for most of the season. Honestly, it also kind of starts the whole like, Heather storyline, which kind of starts her kind of very predictable run throughout the season, of her, at least in terms of editing, of her being a potential winner candidate, of her basically wanting to prove herself, and because of course there was that stigma about women chefs not being taken seriously, and she really wants to be taken seriously, having one of the better singing dishes ever, one of the better singing dishes of the season, and end up being like the best of the worst in that episode, and probably be one of and probably being one of the perfect examples of a dodo first boots, obviously by making a dish that was unfinished and was kind of like around most of the surface, which kind of made it for a funny bit on. So yeah, I know it's all me. I probably put it about the last. I probably put it about Season 1, honestly. Now we get to Season 3, which is a very interesting premiere to talk about, obviously. I mean, for reasons, obviously. And, like obviously, you get some fancy dish moments and everything, and you get the first instance of someone actually put up canned food and finding out the person that did it for Rock ended up being the winner of the season, which is kind of funny if you actually really think about it. And then there's, of course, the iconic Hell's Bitches. You know, with the entire women's team basically were just bitching throughout the entire service, and Julia not be taken seriously. Again, which is kind of a known storyline this season, and Julia not being taken seriously because she's a Waffle House chef, which, yeah, I've never been to, I don't think I've been to Waffle Houses, if I haven't, I've been 1 years. But I'm not sure that's like a thing to really look down on so much. But at the same time, it does make Julia actually seem like an underdog. It does make her actually seem very rootable, and she's also one of the most lovable chefs in the show's history. And you really do feel bad for her for a lot of the serves, actually. You know, it's got Benny being a dickhead and him actually talking back to Ramsay at the surface, which was pretty hilarious. Again, stuff, and then you got Melissa being the best of the worst, and then actually betraying Tiffany by nominating her and Joanna, and then she gets the first boot, which honestly is very, very satisfying. Yeah, despite the bitchiness, honestly, it kind of makes, which and for some people might not kind of be a turn off, which I totally get, obviously, but I still think it's a good premiere episode to watch. It definitely is going on top of the list so far. Also to clarify, I don't think most of these premieres are really bad, honestly. It's just again, Hell's Kitchen one of the shows. I don't think the premiere episodes are really bad, honestly. I'll see some, better or more memorable than others, which we'll get into, but yeah, I don't think it's like a true dud premiere in the show, in my opinion. Yeah, that's me, but yeah, you're right. Then we get to season 4, which I think is another great premiere episode. I think of course you get some fun, hilarious moments, like obviously Ramsey copying them in disguise, and then see all the reactions where he ends up taking off the disguise, which is pretty hilarious. And of course, he got this thing of dish challenge, which is probably still held as being the worst one in the entire show, honestly, and for good reason. I mean, season 1, like 3 dishes were considered well, not great, but were still decent to good, which are funny enough, those people end up being Vanessa, Roseanne, and Ben. Everyone else is just like, ah, bleh. And of course, you got two of the iconic worst ones where Patrol just scorches his hand in a pumpkin thing. And of course, Matt's exotic tartar, which was so bad that Ramsey ended up vomiting after tasting it. And Ramsey does that, that's not a good sign. And the story basically Matt's like terrible run throughout the majority of the season. And you have Vanessa and Bobby being named like the leaders of the season, and then them being pretty much terrible at it, like really terrible at it. But then I get some really fun character moments, some kind of hints at other storylines throughout the season, and Dominic being someone that was one more forgettable first boot, was an odd first boot, honestly. But overall, another boot that another great boot that I will also put at the top actually. I debated, but I think those signature dish moments definitely do elevate it. And of course, we get to season 5, which I mean, of course, season 5 was going to probably top it because I'm saying, I mean, come on. It's season 5. It's one of the best seasons of the show for a reason, and it is an incredible. And I think we do get a fantastic premiere episode, which hints a lot of stuff that you expect that we can expect from the season. Of course, Lacey being Lacey and everything, which again, that's a good or bad day depending on how I talk to you, but it's mostly a bad day. Like there's a reason why she's one of the most heinous chefs in Hell's Kitchen, in my opinion. He definitely gets some fun character moments from a lot of the cast for the season, and Colleen, like, saying she teaches Mance too when Ramsey criticizes a dish. And Steph being a true donkey and everything, and of course, you got, despite the fact that Danny actually is one of the best, most beloved winners in show history. Like, even I forgot that how cocky he was in the first episode. So how he even talked back to Ramsey in the first service when they didn't have a base of the power just went off in the kitchen, and it's like, oh. Best that he gets a fun character moment. It ends with Will or Sarah, because no, Will actually is now a girl actually named Sarah, from what I've been told from my videos, and ends up getting eliminated. And an instance of nominating themselves and not nominating herself, and basically getting it because of it. But yeah, a great start to a great, fantastic season. So yeah, another season that another premiere going on the top list. I didn't expect this to happen actually, but here we are. And then in season 6. Top of the list, obviously. I mean, come on, not only is it probably the best premiere, but it's probably one of the best episodes in Hell's Kitchen, period. The premiere episode is pretty much the definition of how you do a premiere episode right. It has everything you want, especially from a Hell's Kitchen premiere episode. You get some fun signature dish moments. It's the first time where they actually start doing points for signature dish moments. Gets a little hints about the characters, or what you expect. And find out also the fact that Dave is also one of the most beloved chefs. He barely got any focus aside from his introduction. His signatures wasn't that good. But you get a lot of back and forth character moments. You get some weird hot moments, like Amanda bringing Katila to her dish, and Melinda trying to be sexy. Which is again, it's just, yeah. But you get some fun character moments, get a lot of fun service, or basically you get the two icons, like Ramsey, like losing his voice, where he ended up taking so much spaghetti out of the trash, like, look, what is this? And of course, the whole thing with Louie, which ended up being so bad, and not being Jack DeWitch, which whether or not it was going to be intentional or not, or whether it was planned. Of course, also Robert from last season, who got medically evacuated, ended up returning, so he can actually get another shot. So he can have another shot. And it ends with Melinda being one of the most dull characters getting eliminated, which you kind of expected, honestly. And all that spaghetti for the chance, like, yeesh. Yeah, so yeah. Perfect premiere episode. Probably going top, and maybe it might be a top list, but honestly, we'll see, but we'll see. Again, we'll see how it goes. And now we get to another great Korean episode season. I told you there have been a lot of good Korean episodes, but we actually give the first one when it's not topping the list actually. You know, I still think it's a good Korean episode where of course Ramsey insists that he's going to complete the opening night dinner service. Cause you get that, oh yeah, the opening dinner service has been completed actually. And Ramsey was going to do everything he took to actually make that happen. And of course, the chefs some end up failing and everything. Like Maria laughing throughout 3 times throughout the service, and still her that she shouldn't be laughing, which is always a death nail to coffin for a chef. And then a lot of chefs are getting kicked down and everything, but he insists that the service was going to be completed, and he did. You know, all that makes for some fun character moments, some fun interactions, and of course, this leads to a forgettable Stacey Boo, who's one of the most forgettable first boots and probably chefs in all Hell's Kitchen. But the excitement definitely elevates this season, especially again with the first service finally be completed. So I probably put it in the middle list. So I probably put it, I'd say around the middle list. And we continue the great premieres with season 8. Yeah, season is to be the least talented group of chefs in all Hell's Kitchen, and I mean for good reason, obviously. And that's not fault is probably about how terrible the last senior dishes are in this season. I mean Antonio, who probably has probably the worst senior dish of all Hell's Kitchen. Kitchen again, dish was so bad it basically threw up twice. And when everyone tastes was like, ooh. And it was instance with the dish is the reason why the ladies end up losing. So, and then it also ends with Antonio actually getting evacuated for stuff that I might don't remember which I don't think I remember. Sorry, which I don't even remember like what the details were on that dish at least, or why she got eliminated. Or, I mean, what happened to her? Sorry, I don't. Sorry. What I'm trying to say is I don't think it's something like what happened to her that will cost her to go like and then get evacuated, but yeah, it's kind of what but too bad when she was long competition anyway after that dish honestly. And then we get probably one of the worst opening services ever, obviously, where both teams end up both teams ended up losing. Because the funny character most of course got Raj being Raj. I mean, do I even talk about that? And then of course you got kind of like Boris mocking Chef Ramsey, which is always hilarious. And then Sabrina being Sabrina, especially her trying to Chris would not be known as, so again leading to Lisa Boo, who's also not a very able chef, but couldn't have up around with Sabrina throughout, so that's fortunate, but and here we are. So yeah, I'm another like here with great character moments, so I probably put it about season 7. And then we get to season 9, which is one of the few premieres I don't really have like too much to say about, honestly. Now it's not a bad premiere by any means. I do get some fun character moments. I mean, you get some fun moments and some interesting moments. Obviously with Jason getting eliminated, and then the fourth service one evacuation with Jason, who I think got a second chance in season 12, which we'll get into. And we do get some at least in character content. We can at least I don't think you mentioned like how familiar she is. And you get like a fun boo with Steven, who was definitely one of the most overconfident chefs out there. Where he never did any wrong, especially with the springy scallops and everything on that. But other than that, I don't really have much to say about the season, so I probably gonna go to the bottom list honestly. But I still think it's a solid premiere episode. I just don't really have much to say about it. And then we get to season 10. Which is no, actually a pretty good premiere episode, honestly. Like I said, a lot of these are pretty good, so yeah, it's not one of the best, honestly, but it's still a pretty good one. Of course, it's and one of the reasons why it's popular because of Tavon, who's one of the most iconic first boots in the show's history, and one of the most beautiful chefs in the show's history, and it's still hilarious the fact that if that he didn't screw up that service and the red team lost, Christina Wilson, who is one of the probably most iconic chefs in the show's history, would have got eliminated. I guess we kind of forget that actually. It's kind of crazy to think about actually that Christina Wilson, one of the most memorable chefs in the show's history, would have gotten eliminated in the first service if she, yeah. But usually gets a fun character moment. I mean, hell, this is probably like the only episode in, like this is probably like the only episode in this season where the red team aren't complete bitches. Yeah, sorry if that season having the most toxic red team in show's history. The first episode didn't really have any of that actually. Which kind of makes it kind of refreshing, for being honest, but yeah, you get some fun character moments and everything, and Tavon's does that. Tavon's run is still pretty hilarious. So overall, I probably put this, so overall, I say a pretty solid premiere. I would I probably put it above like around season 3, season 2, honestly, but still a good premiere. Yeah. Oh, and also for also I'll get mentions about the Butch Me episodes that include two parts. I am going to include both the two parts. I think that actually makes a lot of sense here. And after I had very similar thoughts on those episodes anyway, so I'm not sure that's going to be fair or not, but you're not. But I think it actually makes a lot of sense, honestly, because I mean, come on. But we get season 11, which is probably one of the most, despite season 11 obviously being like one of the most uninteresting seasons of show's history, but mostly because of the length of the season, honestly. I mean, the season has like 21 episodes, which is insane, especially for a season like on Hell's Kitchen. Yeah, especially for a season like Hell's Kitchen. But yeah, despite the season not being the greatest, honestly, we do get a very iconic episode, honestly. We get one of the most insane, crazy, kick-out services in all of Hell's Kitchen. But pretty much like all but two people in the Blue Kitchen got kicked out, honestly. Even some fun moments with Red Kitchen, obviously Jacqueline getting eliminated for drinking water. And then Daniel constantly asking, hey, Ed, I never worked in the brigade before, I never worked in the brigade before, and all that stuff. And then when asking a dumb question, of course, Jeremy also being Jeremy. And then Zach, despite the fact that Zach pretty much goes on a pretty much mostly heel turn after this premiere, at least until like episode 3 or 4, if I remember correct. Episode 3, 4, 5, if I remember correctly. I'm impressed with how he was able to actually complete service with just him. I mean, Christian helped a little bit, but it was mostly him. And when while he, and even despite like throwing up at it during service, like he was a trooper, which kind of made him mad to feel like a winner candidate that he was going to have like a day best storyline, but man, for once it wasn't the case. And the latest Sebastian, yeah, another pretty hilarious circle calling Zacky Wacky, Zacky Wacky, and then having to come back and service like 1, 2 times to try to help out, but then keeps getting kicked out. So yeah, I got my. So yeah. Iconic service, I probably put this above, like, I think I put it between season 5 and 6, honestly, because, yeah, it's that good. And then we get to another favorite season of mine, season 12, which, now, again, really kicked off season very well with season 13, and also seeing Jason return was pretty good, honestly. It also gets some fun seeing this moment where I'm seeing Mike, like, making, like, canned food for Ted Ramsay and everything, and then him just talking back to him, which is pretty hilarious. And then get the fun back and forth moment, you know, the cast, and of course the gas service that's so bad. I mean, service for no dish. There were 20 chefs, and not one of them got to serve a successful good dish. I am not joking. Just joking. Like, and so it's like both teams losing, everything, and Gaurav was the one who was known for like licking fingers, which also Ray did in the also that's all mentioned. That's also something that happens. He's left me where Ray ended up tasting food with his fingers, and then Gaurav actually did the same thing here, which this time kind of led to his elimination. Elimination, like, oh, sets a tone and the interesting unpredictability you can expect from this season, because season 12 was definitely an unpredictable ride. And this premiere episode kicks off that. Honestly, I probably put it below season 5, but it's still a great premiere episode. And now I get to season 13, which, honestly, like most of season 13, it's kind of forgettable. Not the bad by any means. Like, you still actually get good moments here, honestly. I'm honestly, by season 13 being a forgettable season, there are still good moments that happen in this season. I mean, how JR just ridiculous or JP just pathetic lines were pretty hilarious. Again, Sterling is always a delight, honestly, and you also get the Red Team pulling upon the best opening service ever. But other than that, I really don't have much to say about this episode at all, because again, it's from a forgettable season, so I'm probably, I'm pretty willing to, just because it had like more moments, I'm probably gonna put it above. I might put it above 9, honestly. So it's not the absolute worst, but definitely going to go to the bottom. Season 14 is now one I don't have too much to say about, aside from Carissa being an interesting first brew in the season. Well, she was eliminated really for making like bad cooking mistakes, honestly. She was just more for being one of the most aloof chefs out there. And being just so, like, and off-putting. And, if I'm saying off-putting, I would say, like, being so aloof. And, I mean, how she went to the wrong, I mean, how she was like, how she like looked at Ramsay when she ended up being eliminated, which again was pretty hilarious. Like, yeah, it's got some fun with this moments. Again, start like Megan's like true win storyline. Again, Monique has to another camp food. Again, but when chefs end up using camp food, it's always pretty hilarious, especially when Monique doesn't think she didn't do anything wrong in that service. But aside from that, I don't have too much else to say about this episode. I'd probably put this above season 2. Above the, I'd say I put this above season 2, honestly. despite season 15 actually being one of my favorite seasons of the show, actually, the main episode I don't really have too much to say about, actually. I mean, you get some fun character moments, fun, also certain arcs and characters that you can expect going forward between characters and the back and forths and everything, but it's just one I don't have too much to say about, honestly. I mean, got the first boot, Mario having only one confessional, being like the least visible chef to ever be on Hell's Kitchen, which is kind of insane when you think about it. It's just really Brie, I don't think really has any true stand-up moments or true, like, I mean, except for also seeing Christina Wilson obviously being a chef, being a chef, the red team's chef, but except for that, I don't really have too much to say about it. To where, honestly, I might have to put it at the bottom, actually. Like, I don't think it's a bad premiere by any sense, honestly. I don't think Season 15 is a bad premiere. It was just one I don't have really, just really one I don't really have much to say about at the end of the day. And then we get to Season 16. Definitely an interesting, yeah, I find out this actually was the season that I started watching that made me a fan of Hell's Kitchen. And well, it's definitely an odd season started in hindsight. Again, 16, like, honestly, I actually don't mind it for me, absolutely. Like, it's probably going to see the bottom because obviously it's the start of the toxicity of the blue team, which is, and well, it's not as bad as, like, you know, we get later episodes in the season. We still kind of get that a little bit here. We get some fun just moments, obviously. Like another camp food moment, which is, I think, from Kinley, which is hilarious. You get some fun back and forth between some of the cast members. And you got Matt being a douchebag, at least him, at least one's more hilarious, at least, and not, like, terrible. And we also get Pat actually get Bat being one of the most, one if not the most screwed over first boot by getting eliminated just by making a too cheesy risotto, and the blue team really getting it up on him. And probably one of the only moments where actually Paulie is not an actually unlikable asshole, where he actually, you know, actually, hell, he actually volunteered nominating himself actually, so, I'd probably put this above, like, Season 9, honestly, because I do think those are fun moments, but, yeah, it's Season 16, so, yeah, it's obviously going to the bottom. And now we get to Season 17, All-Stars, which, again, All-Stars is, you guys don't know, this is actually my least favorite season of Hell's Kitchen. Yeah, I don't think it's an entirely bad season. Yeah, I went through that. I don't think Hell's Kitchen has a bad season, in my opinion, but Season 17 is like, it's one season that has the least amount of enjoyment, honestly. Again, this is also kind of most the start of the two-part premieres that we do in the beginning and kind of the two-parters that we get in later episodes. Again, I feel the same about all these premieres and the two-parters. That's why I'm buried in the beginning, honestly, because I think that actually makes a lot of sense. At least to me, but it was great seeing a lot of these characters return, honestly. It was definitely exciting at the time, for sure. Like, I'm sure it was exciting. Like, I'm sure it was exciting at the time. You know, you got to see some influences like, you know, Elise and characters like you tell were just there just to cause drama. I mean, Robin and Elise are. I mean, this season we got Robin and Elise, two are probably the most hated chefs in all of Hell's Kitchen. Like this is kind of like wow. Like you can tell they just wanted them to start drama, and at the end of the episode and at the end of the premiere, we do definitely get that for sure. So you got at least, of course, still being the consistent bitch that she is. Crazy that many years later, she's still the, you know, bitch that she kind of is as a character. Unfortunately, she still is obviously the bitch of a character that she is. But it was fun seeing like some chefs and characters. You do get some fun moments here and there, and of course, it does actually lead to of course, Ben of all people being eliminated. Thinking he doesn't have like what it takes, honestly, which is kind of weird. Like, why would you bring back everything that one it takes? But whatever. So, I'm debating one of the. I'm actually debating one I purchased season actually. I don't think it's actually a bad premiere, so I think I might put it. So yeah, I actually think I might put it above the last season, below the last season actually. Because I don't think it's a bad premiere. Again, it's just not one like season 15 that don't really has like true stand-up moments. Which again, kind of sets the kind of tone weakest better from the season for better or for worse. And now we get to season 18, which I think we definitely get back to the other great premieres of Hell's Kitchen. Season 18 actually being a great premiere. A season how rookies versus veterans. We get to see a lot of different Hell's Kitchen chefs who lost, basically turning for another second chance. Definitely a much better return play season than the one we just talked about. And we get some fun character moments between some of the characters, and of course seeing Brett get his second chance and him being focused on. I mean, him always like kissing his tattoos about his mom farmhouse. So again, see what you love about Brett as a character, because I know Brett's a very divided character because of how over emotional he can be at times. But you can't help but really root for him at that moment, honestly. Especially when he ends up winning the challenge that basically allows him to have his own result to be on the menu. And of course to start the punishment pass, which basically becomes a common thing in Hell's Kitchen from this point forward. we can use that to avoid any punishments. Of course, it was kind of like a waste idea here. Honestly, I think it gets much more elevated and better in later seasons, which I think it does get more better and elevated in later seasons. But it still gives a good character moments. Like the newbie ends up staying out much, especially Mia being like a fourth bucking with, honestly. And then we get to Service, where basically it also got Scott basically being one of the most hilarious first boots in all of Hell's Kitchen. Like, oh my god, saying he was like a chef that he was a head chef like so many other famous people, something like that. I don't remember all the details at the moment, but you really don't feel like he ends up being a Louvre and not being terrible at service and serving like a tableside dish. Also serving a tableside dish that's not tableside. Yeah. A tableside dish in the kitchen. And now obviously wins his elimination. You also got a touch upon when Chris saying he had an accident and affected some of his face actually, which kind of hits our weakness back from Chris actually in later episodes, which of course did lead to his eventual fight in later episodes. But overall, a really good game. I'm not sure what I put it on. I'm not sure where I put it on. Well, but I'd say I put it above season 3. Honestly, it's still a great premiere episode. And now we get to season 19 against Austin Holy Talented Era Hell's Kitchen. Hell's Kitchen won a lot of seasons of chef style, very talented. I think 19 is very talented, and I think it is generally another fantastic premiere episode. Again, of course, it starts the whole early elimination thing that becomes prominent in the next couple seasons. We can choose a lot of chefs and a lot of personalities. Despite Cody Casino being cocky, he actually ends up becoming a very lovable chef in the end of the day. Declan, Mary Lou, Nikki, Jordan, and a lot of other chefs that become very prominent throughout the season. And then of course we got Potato Gate, obviously, and then we got that kind of Potato Game moment, honestly, which led to Kim's elimination. Yes, I am being seen as a good character in this episode performance. Like, I kind of wish she had been fun, honestly. Like, I genuinely love Cyan as a character. And we get some fun service bumps, obviously, and some really. We got Elliot basically aloof for a majority of the service. Like, he was like, like, damn. And of course, we got Nikki's breakdown during service, which starts her, like, true underdog run throughout. That's one of the most prominent things for a majority of the season. I really feel bad for Nikki, and definitely she does get bad from the service going forward. Thank God on that. And of course, we got Ellie and Drew being eliminated. Drew also being a very underrated character. And then Ellie admitted that he doesn't think he's a better chef than Drew, honestly, which I mean that. So we get some overall pretty great moments. You get the moments. So again, I'll say I'm gonna get Mia. Honestly, I actually think I might put it above the last actually. And now I'm just gonna kind of speed run these next 4 episodes because aside from one, I don't really have much to say about like 3 or 4 of these premieres episodes. So I think it might be best if I like speed run through some of these actually. I'm sorry honestly, but like I said, I don't really have like much to say about these premieres. So yeah, season 20 is by season 20 is having the iconic Matthew meltdown portion and the Nabana thing and the fun back and forth between the characters. But from that, aside from Eva's obviously with elimination, and I really don't have much to say about that episode in general, despite being like a 20 landmark season. Same with 21 actually, which of course had the iconic Zeus quit moment and Charlie being one of the most forgettable first boots. Again, I don't have much to say about the episode in general. T22 obviously was a very great one. Obviously, you know, Tad doing Quidditch apparently is a hobby. Having also a premiere episode with both teams that are losing, and then another incident about King Fu with Demir, who comes like a powerhouse after this premiere episode, which you would not think that actually. And Tad also be one of the most elite players in all of Hell's Kitchen. And then you get the recent one, Hell Chefs Only, which, again, I don't really have much to say about that actually. I mean, you're probably the best signature section ever. Well, the weakest is just a 3, honestly. But Service is happy that doesn't really have any true scene in the moment, so. You know, we'll find out at the end, we'll find out where I'm ranked these episodes, but BF1 I just don't have much to say about. Sorry. Yeah, well, after talking about every premiere episode on Hell's Kitchen, let's now rank on how I would rank every single premiere episode. Which last place going to season 15, I still think it's better premiere episode, but it's the one I don't have much to say about, or has the least memorable moments, so that's Coming last place, season 15, SmackDown obviously I think is like a great season in general. Number 22 would be season 9. Number 21 would be season 17. Number 20 would be season 16. Number 19, season 23. Number 18, season 13. Number 17, 21. Number 16, season 20. Number 15, season 1. Number 14, season 2. Number 13, season 14. Number 12, season 10. Number 11, season 3. Number 10, season 18. Number 9, season 19. Number 8, season 22. Number 7, 7. Number 6, 8. Number 5, season 4. Number 4, season 12. Number 3, season 5. Number 2, season 11. And as I expected, number 1 is season 6. And that's my thoughts on every pre-episode of Hell's Kitchen. Hope you enjoyed it. I do plan on making more of these premium rankings in general for my show. So let me know your thoughts down in the comment section what your rankings on thoughts of premium episodes in general. I have a lot of exciting content hoping coming very soon. This is the Spider Encyclopedia, signing off.